What's up, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the HTC One M10, and I've been rocking the HTC One M8 since it came out. In fact, I got it 1 week after it came out, and that's been my daily driver since. Now, that doesn't mean I haven't tested out other phones. It's just none of the other phones were innovative. They're boring. Let's be honest here. Last year was the worst innovative year of all time. The only company that actually tried to do something was Microsoft. They actually tried to innovate with HoloLens, and they picked the timing really well too. They saw that every other company was just chilling, even Apple was just chilling, so they're like, you know what, we're gonna go and throw out something amazing like a new hinge on the Surface and a bunch of other ridiculous products like HoloLens. But this year I feel like is HTC's year. They're really hyping this up. I really want the M10 to be really epic, and I want it to beat the M8 because the M9 was a joke. That phone was disgusting. Bad battery life, nothing close to the competition. It miserably failed, and it kind of threw HTC back into whatever was going on with HTC and its depth back before the M7 was released. Then the M7 was released. People were like, all right, you know what? There has to be something better than this. And then came the M8, and everyone was like, whoa, that's awesome. So I'm looking forward to this announcement. So far, we got ourselves the competition, which is of course the new LG. I like the fingerprint reader. I like that they got the volume buttons off the back. It's not a bad phone. It has a new slick design, and of course the modular thing, whatever you want to call that, the extra battery life is decent. But let's be honest here, at this point everyone already has a battery pack, and no one feels like spending $50 on an LG custom modular thing, and who knows how you're going to charge to that. It's just another way for them to make money. Now what I wish is you could have a battery pack inside of your phone. Think about it. What if your phone's battery was removable? You could take it out, plug in a USB thing into that, and then use that phone's battery to charge other devices. I know that idea is insane, but imagine that. Now HTC is not going to be able to do that. I don't think any company is right now, but that's kind of where we're going to eventually lead towards. Modular batteries, it's a start, but it's not exactly tempting. Alright, then we have Samsung. Now Samsung's an interesting case. Their design's really cool. They sort of kept it. Thank gosh they got rid of that band-aid design they had a little bit back. They fixed the whole design thing. They fixed up TouchWiz. That's all good. And it seems that Samsung's sort of leaning away from throwing new ideas onto their phones. What happened to the days where your eyes could scroll to web pages and your fingers could do magic on the screen? Well, I guess Samsung doesn't feel like doing those things anymore, since they're sort of shifting towards the fingerprint Apple type of simplicity design as well. I'm not sure why exactly all the companies are sort of following Apple. Maybe because Apple is doing well, but the other companies have to understand, if they don't stand out, then they're not going to sell anything. If you copy Apple, people are going to be like, iPhone wannabe. Yeah, I'm going to go with the iPhone. So Samsung, LG, it's not going to work. So hopefully HTC comes out with something cool. And that's what I want to look into. What exactly is this cool thing? Well, right here, I'm going to go through 4 different articles with 4 pretty different analyses on what exactly the next HTC phone is going to look like. And I'm going to try to sum it up and basically try to give you guys what exactly is legit and what's absolutely ridiculous and not going to happen. So HTC recently teased their new ad. It's called the Power of 10. Hopefully this thing looks awesome. But here's the scary part. Rumors are saying that they're going to be doing a few changes that are going to make it look even more like an iPhone. I hope not, because in that case, HTC, you are so screwed. To put things into perspective, HTC only sold 4.7 million units of the One M9. Now, to put that into perspective, I mean, that's a low number for phones. Apple sold 74.5 million, just iPhone 6 models. How ridiculous is that? And they sold 9 million on the first day. They beat HTC's entire year in the course of about, 5 or 6 hours, okay? So HTC, get your stuff back together. Now, if you're gonna drop boom sound, people are gonna be like, you're fanboys. The people who like HTC are going to drop you. And that is not going to be good. When your fanboys go against you, that's when you know you screwed up. Alright, so here's one look at the design that they're taking a look at. Now, supposedly what they're going to try to do is make it so boom sound isn't necessary and that one speaker can do the job. Now, that people aren't going to like either. However, if they give it, say, some amazing camera or something along those lines, like HTC's original ultra pixels, then maybe people will like it. Now here's the cool thing. You guys know the bokeh effect on all the phones that have it these days. Well, the actual bokeh effect wasn't available on phones. It was almost impossible to do until the HTC One M8 came out with its dual camera thing. And then Apple was like, you know what, we're gonna add a bokeh, and Samsung was like, you know what, everyone likes the blur in the background, we're all gonna go ahead and add it. So that was one of the main innovations of the M8, and that was one of the last innovations in cameras. After that, all I heard was more megapixels, more megapixels, more megapixels. If you're a photographer, you know that more megapixels is absolutely useless unless you are planning to do some serious editing in Photoshop. Alright, so here's a look at some of the specifications. So supposedly Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow, we got HTC Sense 8, 5.1 inch 2560 by 1440 display, and it might be AMOLED. That'll be nice. Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 processor. Now if it doesn't have that, then that's a problem. Every phone right now has that. Adreno 530 graphics, so expect some nice gaming. 4 GB of RAM. Pretty nice, but once again, they're only keeping up with the competition, not beating it. They need to really be beating it. 32 GB of storage. That is something I always liked about HTC. They don't do the whole 16 GB thing. Even 2 years ago, they started the whole let's do 32 GB because people obviously want to store more things. And then of course we're going to get 12 ultra pixel main camera with a laser assisted autofocus and OIS. This is going to be their big feature, I hope. They're going to try to take ultra pixels and they're going to fix it. So the camera works the best out of any camera out there when it comes to low light with optical image stabilization and rapid fire focus in low light. Now if they can pull that off, it might be enough for us to be able to drop boom sound, but still I love boom sound, so I don't know. Fingerprint scanner at the bottom, I mean that's kind of a default these days. I guess that was Apple's biggest innovation. Taking a look at some of the other things, pricing, it's going to be the usual $579. Here's a look at some of the big things. So here is what people really want. There's Force Touch, which is keeping up with Apple, but I feel like HTC, if they do this, they need to put their own version on. Otherwise, everyone's going to be like, hey, why'd you copy Apple? What's wrong with you? Dual SIM slots, that's kind of useful if they are trying to attract the demographic that is all around the world. And considering majority of their sales are from, I don't know, the United States, it's not really going to help them. Micro SD storage? Yes. More battery life and maybe a removable battery? Yes. If they can get those two, I will totally get the phone, even if it doesn't have boom sound. I want a bigger battery, and I want to be able to move it. I also want my traditional SD card storage, unlike Samsung, who decided that it's a great idea to remove that last year. Then, of course, we have the 4K screen. Now, if they can do that, I'm not sure if they'll be able to pull that one off, but that would be something. That would be something. Alright, so those are about it when it comes to the whole rumors on this page. So we're going to jump to this page and see if anything's different. Overall, as you guys can see, this one has display information, 5 inches, 4K, 2K resolution display. So that'll be pristine. It also has information on the battery. Now, 3,500 battery. So, of course, that many milliamps inside of a battery, that will last a pretty nice amount of time until you factor in the fact that it might have 4K resolution. In that case, how is that going to affect battery life? Are we going to just risk battery life for the sake of getting a few more pixels here and there? Okay, maybe not a few more, but a little bit better when it comes to our view? I don't know. I don't know if I really care. I personally like boom sound more than the amount of pixels. The original HTC One M8 and M9 screens are perfectly good. Now here's another thing. HTC at one point had the best front-facing camera in period. Their whole thing with the M8 was it's gonna take the best selfies you've ever seen. Now if they can do that again and make it so their phone can take the best selfies ever, well, that would be something as well. I feel like they're gonna try to focus on the front as well. Now I like how it says Touch ID scanner here. Touch ID is trademarked by Apple. I don't think they'll be taking that anytime soon, but it would be nice to see on this phone. Alright, that's about it for that. Now this one actually has some pictures. So here is what this might look like, and I feel like that is not what they're going to go for, because this type of design is what's usually saved for really, really low-end devices. In fact, this design is what is killing Microsoft right now. So don't do that design. It's not premium. Alright, so we got traditional 5. Alright, so we have a 2.2 gigahertz Snapdragon 820. That's default. This rumor says 12 megapixels with an aperture of 2.0, but it's also ultra pixel. So that should be interesting. Now here's some of the features you might see. HDR, it already has that. Panorama already has that. Dual LED, that would be cool. Laser autofocus, I like it. Face and smile detection, it kind of already has that. Geotagging already has it. OIS, that's something I'm looking towards right now on plenty of HTC phones. It's kind of ridiculous how shaky all the footage is, and no one likes that. Compass fingerprint, yeah, but this rumor says 4,000 milliamps. Okay, now if they can get that, that should be able to basically balance out the 4K screens. I'm not sure they'll be able to pull that off, but if they do shove that into this somehow, which is the one of the renders for what the M10 will look like. I just said M9. M10 will look like, then maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to do it. Maybe they'll adjust the screen and make it a little bit bigger. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Here's another different rumor. This one says 3 gigabytes of RAM instead of 4 gigabytes. I don't know. Everyone's all over the place with these rumors. I like this render personally. It has the premium feel. It has the camera. It's got dual flash. It has boom sound, but it's kind of shoved into this bottom. It still has the HTC logo in the front. People don't like that. So what some rumors are pointing to is that these are going to be capacitive buttons instead of your traditional HTC logo. And I think people like that. Now heck, take the HTC logo and put it on the back. Make it huge. No one will really care. It's just we don't want it on that front bezel. Everyone keeps complaining about that. Now the reason they kept that giant HTC symbol there is because of boom sound, and a lot of people complained about it, and it appears they may or may not be able to keep that boom sound without getting rid of that. Here's a few other things that we might want. High-end multitasking, not sure what exactly that means. A fingerprint scanner, yes. Wireless fast charging, I don't know, they'll have to really be innovative in order to pull this one off, since most phones have support for QI charging, and if they're going to put it in a metal chassis, it's not exactly going to be easy to do. Innovative light design, I don't know what the heck that means. HTC Sense 8 UI, look forward to it, and of course your Iris Eye technology, and that's supposedly expected. Wonder what that will do. Alright, I'm going to leave you guys with the release date, which is supposed to be somewhere around March 11th, which is about next Friday, so stay tuned for that, and I can't wait to see what it ends up being, because I am definitely going to make a video either making fun of it and harassing it and telling HTC congratulations, you just screwed up, or we're about to see a company go from pretty much all the way down there up to back in shape, and I kind of like seeing companies make comebacks. It's always fun to watch. Unfortunately, BlackBerry never pulled that one off, and Nokia appears to be following that same path. On that happy note, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If so, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. This is going to be me. Bye.